Direct News TV. July 27, 2023. Niger coup updates, unrest as army backs guards who moved against Bazoum. Situation in Niger remains fluid as tensions run high. Al Jazeera's Ahmed Idris, who has reported extensively on Niger, said the situation in the country remains fluid. Tensions remain high between supporters of the coup and supporters of the deposed government, Idris said. We understand also in the capital security has been stepped up, he said. Chances of things escalating are real, he added. This coup has underlined divisions within Niger's society, and it's bound to escalate. We're also seeing definitely some divisions within Niger's military itself. Coup could complicate UN peacekeepers' withdrawal from Mali, UN. The coup in Niger could have a negative impact on the United Nations withdrawing its decade-long peacekeeping operation in neighboring Mali, UN spokesperson Stéphane Dujarric has said. The UN Security Council last month ended the mission in Mali after the West African country's military government abruptly asked the 13,000-strong force to leave. Chad is the largest contributor to the mission with some 1,400 troops in Mali, but the coup in Niger could now make it difficult for them to return home. The Security Council has asked the peacekeeping mission to aim to complete its withdrawal by the end of this year. It will have a negative impact, if this continues, on our drawdown, Dujarric said and asked about the coup in Niger. Bazoum is fine, says AU Commission Chair. African Union Commission Chair Moussa Faki Mahamat said he had spoken with Bazoum, the Russian news agency RIA reported. He's very good. I even talked to him today. He's fine, Mahamat said on the sidelines of a Russia-Africa summit taking place in St. Petersburg. ECOWAS calls for immediate release of Bazoum. ECOWAS, the Economic Community of West African States, has called for the immediate release of Bazoum, who it says remains the legitimate president of Niger. The bloc, of which Niger is a member, has also called for a return to constitutional order in the country without delay. UN humanitarian operations on hold in Niger. UN humanitarian operations have been suspended in Niger due to a coup in the troubled Sahel country, spokesman Stéphane Dujarric says. The UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs is telling us that humanitarian operations are currently on hold given the situation, Dujarric said. Struggle to contain situation before it gets out of hand, AJ correspondent. Al Jazeera's Ahmed Idris, who has reported extensively on Nigerian affairs, says the next few days will be critical. What is clear right now is the struggle to contain the situation before it gets out of hand, he said from Abuja, the capital of neighboring Nigeria. The biggest concern is to contain the situation among supporters of the coup and supporters of the government. Apart from that, there is also the concern about possible divisions within the army, added Idris, noting that there are still people in the security forces who are loyal to Bazoum. UN chief extremely worried about situation. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres has said he is extremely worried about the situation in Niger. Speaking to reporters, he said he spoke with Bazoum after the coup attempt. I don't know exactly where he is, but he was detained, Guterres said. He told me he was well, but he told me that the situation was very serious. Guterres also warned of the terrible effects on development and civilians due to successive unconstitutional changes of government in the Sahel. If you look at the region, you have dramatic terrorist increase of activity in Mali, in Burkina Faso, in Niger, you have military regimes, he said. We are witnessing that the whole belt, south of the Sahara, is becoming an extremely problematic area with terrible consequences for their populations and with terrible consequences for peace and stability for the African continent and further afield, Guterres added. The coup is another symptom, another, very dramatic event that only benefits the terrorist groups operating in the area. Coup, a slap in the face for citizens, German Foreign Minister. German Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock says she has spoken by telephone to her counterpart in Niger, Hassoumi Massoudou. In a statement, Baerbock said she expressed Germany's full support for Niger's democratic development and called for the immediate release of Bazoum. She also slammed the presidential guard's move against the elected president as a slap in the face for the many people of Niger who have done so much in recent years to give their country a better future. Coup plotters want to use Bazoum as bargaining chip. Al Jazeera's Ahmed Idris, who has reported extensively on Niger, says the coup plotters, like other soldiers who grabbed power in similar circumstances across the region in recent years, will seek to use President Bazoum as a bargaining chip in any future negotiations. Bazoum is still being held by the coup organizers and they want to use him as a bargaining chip following the script of coup plotters in Mali, Burkina Faso and Guinea, Idris said. For them it's important to have Bazoum in their custody, so whatever foreign intervention will happen will have to be on their own terms. Idris noted that there were fears the situation could escalate. Yesterday we saw supporters of the president try to march to the presidential palace, in their words to free the president from the clutches of the coup plotters, but they were dispersed after gunshots were fired into the air, he said. Today we saw both sides calling on supporters to be on the streets. Wagner Group may seek to expand in Niger, analyst Flavian Baumgartner, an Africa analyst at Dragonfly, a security and political risk consultancy, said if Mohamed Bazoum resigns from the presidency, Niger will probably move to the top of the list of countries where the Wagner Group of mercenaries will seek to expand. Wagner already had its sights set on Niger, in part because it's a large producer of uranium sought after by Russia. But Bazoum posed an impediment because of his pro-French and pro-Western stance, said Baumgartner. Wagner's head, Yevgeny Prigozhin, described the developments as part of Niger's fight against the colonizers. His comments came as several hundred people gathered in Niamey and chanted support for Wagner while waving Russian flags. France landed a military aircraft in Niger despite airspace closure, Army. France landed a military aircraft in Niger despite an airspace closure imposed after the announcement of the coup, Army Colonel Amadou Abdrahmane said on state television. Hundreds of coup supporters gather as some set fire to ruling party HQ. Supporters of the coup have ransacked and set fire to the headquarters of the governing party in Niamey. Plumes of black smoke billowed from the building after hundreds of supporters of the coup who had gathered in front of the National Assembly moved there. Police dispersed them with volleys of tear gas. The crowd played pro-army music. Some waved Russian flags and chanted anti-French slogans. We have always believed in the army's actions and this time we are with them. For us, this is joy, said Boubacar Hamadou, a human rights activist among the crowd outside Parliament. Niger Army pledges allegiance to coup makers. Niger's army has declared allegiance to the defense and security forces that overthrew President Mohamed Bazoum, according to a statement signed by Abdou Siddikou Issa, the army chief of staff. The statement, posted on X, the platform formerly known as Twitter, said the decision was necessary to avoid a deadly confrontation between the various forces. Hard-won democratic gains will be protected despite coup, Bazoum. Bazoum has said hard-won gains in establishing democracy in Niger will be protected despite the coup. The hard-won gains will be safeguarded, Bazoum said on the social platform X, formerly known as Twitter. All Nigerians who love democracy and freedom would want this. His foreign minister, Hassoumi Massoudou, also posted on X, calling on all Democrats and patriots to make this perilous adventure fail. Timeline: A history of coups in Niger. The latest military takeover marks the fifth successful coup in Niger's history since it gained independence from France in 1960. A March 2021 attempt was thwarted when a military unit tried to seize the presidential palace days before Bazoum, who had just been elected, was due to be sworn in. My name is Kingsley. Please like, share, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be the first to be notified whenever we post. You won't regret it.